This is a story that gets me every time, and this is how pathetically low the corporate Democrats will go. And so I'm going to talk about this. So, you know, Joe Biden and his administration released his infrastructure plan. We know some of it. So from the Washington Post, they were saying that. So here it is. Biden, the administration released the plan, which involves 600. So released a 2.25 trillion dollar infrastructure plan, meaning it's very little. It's pathetically low. So hold on, before I get to that, with $650 billion going for infrastructure reform, $400 billion to take care of the elderly and disabled, $300 billion for housing infrastructure, and $300 billion to fix our manufacturing. So, I'm going to start right off the bat by saying this is horribly pathetic. It's pathetically low. Because here's the thing is that, you know, we have a grade of C in our country for our infrastructure. We don't have a grade of a B. We're not even near a B. We're not even near a C plus. We can't even get to an A. And Joe Biden's coming out with this pathetically low ass mark, like this margin, like, oh, I'm gonna do this and get Republican votes. Oh God. Okay. Oh. Here we go. Here he is, talking about, oh, we're gonna get Republican votes. So there's a number that was released in 2017. As of 2017, the number that we needed to fix our infrastructure, and it's 4.7, almost 4.7 trillion, almost $5 trillion. That is the base amount. That is the normal, that like the minimum amount that we need to fix our infrastructure. And take a look at this. So, Joe Biden's going at less than half of that, right? So, Joe Manchin, this tells you everything. Joe Manchin was once asking for $4 trillion in infrastructure spending. $4 trillion. Joe Biden is to the right of the most conservative Democrat in the Senate, bar none. Like no full stop. No other person. Yeah, you got Angus King and John Tester, but this dude, Joe Manchin, is to the right. It's to the left of Joe Biden. Joe Biden is now to the right of Joe Manchin, the most conservative Democrat in the Senate, who agreed his record was what? 50-60% with Trump, so half or above half agreeing with Trump during the Trump era, in the Trump era, during the Trump years. He is asking for more money than Joe Biden is. And to put this in perspective, like Bernie was and look, Bernie was asking, if you put all his infrastructure plan together, if he had gotten in office, the formula, when you put it together, it was like $16 trillion for infrastructure. $16 trillion. This is hell of a lot lower. A hell of a lot lower. So I want at least for us to start at the $5 trillion mark to get us to at least a C plus or a B, because now I want us to be the number one country in the world for infrastructure. A plus 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 plus. Because I don't want even China. I don't want the second nearest country to us to have anywhere near our infrastructure. I don't want them to be close. And yet we are one of the last. Okay? Well, not one of the last, but one of the lowest rated infrastructures in the world. Now, Joe Biden is seeking for Republican votes with this plan. Oh, maybe here's what he's doing. He's walking in with a really, really, really low, watered down, gross, incompetent plan. And it looks like they're trying to use tax hikes for businesses, for big businesses, right? Okay, so you're trying to put some of your tax plan in there, and you're infrastructure plan, your proposals together. Okay, fine. You're not going to get a Republican vote because they're going to take whatever he brings, water it down even more, then even water it down even more. And he's not going to get one single Republican vote because they're also not going to say, because they're also saying, oh, that's a little too much money, which is hilarious coming from them who spent a little over $2 trillion on tax cuts for the rich. At least $2 trillion. And so, but then they're going to say, I don't want to do any tax hikes on any businesses, right? So you're never going to get a Republican on board. And so because you're not going to get that, Joe Biden is like, oh, I won't keep the filibuster because it's tradition in the Senate. Oh, cares about tradition? No one cares about tradition. All we care about is you create millions of jobs, spending trillions of dollars on infrastructure. Because that's what we need. Like, we need a high-speed rail. And so, you have the filibuster, but you still need 60 votes to vote your bills through. So instead of people say, oh, bring back the talking filibuster. Yeah, and what about in cloture? You need those 60 votes still. So what are you going to do in cloture if all of a sudden, oh, look, we did the talking filibuster and we still need 60 votes to vote this through, to put this bill through? You could reform the filibuster, or you could just abolish it altogether. Abolish the goddamn filibuster. All you need to do is just abolish it and vote everything through budget reconciliation. Do that. That would work. Or hey, reform the reconciliation bills. Right now, or the reconciliation rules. Right now it says they can put two rules, put through rules through budget reconciliation. Put 3, put 10, put 600 bills. I don't give a damn. Change something. Because here's the thing. Democrats have the majority. They have the majority. They got to start acting like it. Act like it. Because they could have the 51 votes, get this through, and improve the lives of every American. And, by the way, create millions of jobs. Now, this is pathetically low. Getting back to this point, right? It's so pathetically low, and Crystal Ball says, and you know who Crystal Ball is on my channel, from Crystal and Sagar on The Hill and Rising. We talk about them all the time, especially her, and together. But she said something that kind of caught my ear and my eye, really, which is, it caught my eye. Democrats do something where they try to act like they're Bernie Sanders, but then they're not, which is they take the biggest thing and then they just completely dumb it down and make it terrible. And it's true because, Bernie was going for a $16 trillion package, which would reform our infrastructure to the ends and back, end of the moon and back, and further, pretty much, right? Like I said, they're taking this pathetically low. They're not going to get a single Republican vote. And there's some... Now, look, Joe Manchin was asking for $4 trillion. We need about at least $5 trillion to really do a good job. There's some Democrats asking for $10 trillion. But most of what they want is for climate control and fix our climate, which I agree with. But, again, here's what's... I would love if Joe Biden woke up and realized he needs to start using his balls more. I feel like he should wake up and go, wow, Jack, I need to use my balls more. I need to use my balls more. Because then he would say, okay, this game is freaking stupid. It's so rigged. Let's just get rid of the filibuster, pass everything through budget reconciliation. If Republicans want to help, that's great. And if they don't, even better. We'll just use it against them in the midterms. But no, he doesn't do that. Because, see, what they should do is come in with, $16 trillion. And then water it down to the 10 billion to 5 trillion or $16 trillion. And then I can't talk. And then water it down to the 10 trillion, to the 4 trillion, to the 5 trillion. I don't care. But at least it starts at a good number. Man, guys, this is the classic case involving corporate Democrats. Classic corporate Democrats to the right of one of their most conservative senators. They don't do anything to help you. If this is the way this infrastructure plan is going to go, no Republican's going to vote for it. They're not going to get the votes for it. It's not going to pass. Or if it does, it'll be the most pathetically passed item in his administration. So far. There will be more.